Hello everybody, my name is Troublemaker, and this is the Wargame Cup 2012. Let's all get excited, clap hands, yeah. Alright, tournament put on by Eugen Systems, sponsored by Intel. We are seeing a small indie developer put on a tournament with prizes valuing at around $60,000. The tournament has been quite a monster, starting off with 1,400 players, and now we're down to the final 128 or so, something like that. And we have two pact players, pact versus pact. So that means a pact player will definitely win this one. And our first player is the blue, Komradefruit. And our second player is, in fact, the red Komradefruit and Kyps. So you have two players with K names. That's kind of interesting to note. And also we have from Komradefruit some infantry, some anti-aircraft units, lots of infantry, lots of anti-aircraft units. Some tank destroyers, actually, these hollows coming out. And we have a 2-command strategy, which means he'll take at least 2 bases. And from Kyps, we're seeing some infantry, some anti-aircraft units. A single Smirch, that could be valuable. 1 Smirch, 1 rocket volley, can change the tide of the battle. That's pretty huge. And lots of anti-aircraft units. And he's going for a 2-command strategy as well. The current metagame for this map, for how it's getting played out, is quite simple. A player will take a bunch of infantry and a bunch of helicopters, split them in 2 flanks. One flank of infantry will travel along this western path and hit middle. Second, move around this western path, not eastern, we'll say it's eastern, hit middle. If there's nothing at middle, the same group of units, one will hit echo, and that'll be your eastern flank, and your western flank, sorry. And your eastern flank will move north and hit Bravo. The reason why this works is because the helicopters will be sniping out infantry vehicles, and your infantry will be free to wipe out everything. It's very effective, very potent, and because of this, it has brought on a very old strategy of getting a freaking ton of anti-aircraft vehicles just to deal with the infantry, and getting a lot of infantry to deal with the rushes. And from Kyps, we're going to see some transport helicopters, so he might be trying to secure middle or prevent middle, one or the other. And from Komradefruit, we will actually see lots of infantry. I'm not sure. It doesn't look all-inish, but it's a very similar build. He has the exact same transport helicopters, so looks like we'll see a mirror play. The old metagame, of course, was to take golf, the reinforcement point, and fight for middle. And once you have middle, you get superior point value. But this tournament has completely thrown the metagame off balance. Just the length of this tournament, it's been a month and a half so far. And we have some infantry rushing straight in the middle. Mott Shootens being deployed down with some VPZUs, your anti-infantry unit, moving into this jungle. It's a very key jungle because it prevents any kind of rocket attacks across open field. And we actually see a big group of infantry coming here for Kyps across the eastern flank, and on the western flank we see a similar play being done by Komradefruit. His are being used to secure this path and make sure there's no flanking maneuvers. So far we've seen Komradefruit with Alpha and Golf, and we see he has to, over here we have Echo for Kyps, and no oh, I'm sorry, that was a bad cough. No other position taken by Kyps so far. Sorry about that, guys. I have a cough. It's pretty bad, and it's terrible. I'd like to mention that this epic moment here was brought to you by Halls. Cherry brand are everyone's favorite. Nobody likes non-cherry brand. So we see rockets being mostly wasted on this group of Mott Shootens, who only lost 3 members, and with their superior position, they might in fact still be able to deal these Motostrelki. The Motostrelki, of course, are trying to move up into this factory, which is actually being shot through, and it actually does create the Canadian barrels. Yeah, Canadian barrels. Mott Shootens with the cover, and the VPZUs are actually going to push back the Motostrelki. We see a small skirmish is actually engaged in this forest here, as a Spoo is going to get pierced and destroyed by surrounding groups of vehicles and infantry. And in fact, we see a giant flank here by Kyps. He might try to do a von Schlieffen, which means go across the back door, the mostly unprotected back door, and flank from the rear. All the while, oh, here we go. He's in fact taking the mirror location. He has 4 anti-aircraft vehicles right next door. Doesn't want to lose these 2 helicopter all-ins, which are all the rage these days. BTR Zolos, BMPs, Strops, Zolos, all moving into this middle location, wanting to secure it pretty badly. If he can secure this, he can actually move his command armor. In fact, he's going for it preemptively. He's moving his command armor preemptively into this middle location, as the majority of his forces will in fact mobilize into the middle, clearing out the group of Motostrelki. There's still 4 VPs to use here, which, if used in combination with his own VPZU, can be cleaned up relatively cost effectively. We see another group. This is 8 BTR 60 Pies and 4 infantry actually going to move along this southern flank. Might try and bypass these Matschützens, but very unlikely. And in fact, we have a big group of infantry rushing from the flank, and the commander is not getting pulled back in time. It could actually just die right now. He drops the Spadokonowski on top of the, and oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, blah, 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 blah. It's happening, it's happening. He's moving another one top. He's got to dump it. Can he get a rocket off in time? Here comes the grenade fire. Panicked and destroyed. Command armor down. There's no reinforcement point currently for Komradefruit, and he's in trouble. He's going to lose these anti-aircraft vehicles right now. And that is trouble, and that's problems. And Kyps is showing him how it's done. He's down to no bases. His command armor was in movement. And here comes the reinforcement units, the BTR Zolas, the BMP-3s, everything that's just late. Spadokonowskis are desperately trying to run towards the jungle so they can pay off a little more cost effectively. And where'd the command armor go? Here it is. It's moving back into its original position. He cannot get middle now because he has no reinforcement point. And I'm pretty sure that Komradefruit must be raging. And actually, Kyps is going to run away with 4 infantry and just keep what cannot run away here. He is so smart to do that. He's done his damage. He's running away. He does have a fuel to worry about, and he will run out about halfway. But this will just allow him to deploy in a position where those units will not die. It's better to have those units alive than waste them. And in fact, most of these Spadokonowskis actually continue being useful and maintain this position here, meaning that his opponent, if he was to rally another command armor, will not be able to do that. And now we're seeing small fluctuations of units here at this location. If Kyps is able to successfully break through this wall of 6 infantry, he will be put into a position to rock the last command armor. Also, as a more common and more practical strategy, Kyps can take a 3rd command armor. Oh, look at that, he just kind of did that. Take a giant point space. Usually not this one, but in this case it seems he's going to go for Charlie. And then wait and get a fairly large point gathering. Look at this. Anti-infantry vehicles do in fact find these sneaky Spadokonowskis, but it looks like the Spadokonowskis might be able to do the damage. No, he's actually going to escape, and he's going to micro away. We have a Spadokonowski winding up. He gets 1 shot off. Here comes the 2nd shot, the 2nd volley. The Spadokonowski squad is down. And with his cleanup, and with Kyps taking a 3rd command vehicle, it may be possible for Komradefruit to actually get another command vehicle here and actually get more points. So here we go, command vehicle here in Charlie. So that gives him a big giant total here. He could even move this command armor from this base here with all of his units over to India and secure an even bigger point total, and then just go for the helicopter all-in. The helicopter all-in does really well, and he's actually revealing some of these transport helicopters, which of course are not a part of a helicopter all-in. Transport helicopters unfortunately have very, very low ammo counts and will run out very fast. And this is what I'm talking about. Now, he didn't lose these units, so they're still useful, and he can actually just move them forward and create a small little pick-off point here. No, they won't become insanely viable, but it's better than losing them. As my laryngitis catches up with me. And actually, he's going for the crazy, crazy back road, the long possible road. And the commander is, of course, far north, so he's not going to do too much damage with this. But it will put the fear of attacks, back attacks. And the more of these attacks he does, and this is the kind of a mind play, the more infantry attacks you do, the more anti-infantry units your opponent is going to use. This completely removes the chance of them getting tank destroyers and He's actually going for the crazy move. He's going all the way around. That's weird. And anti-air unit. So that will allow you to do mobile tank all-ins and helicopter all-ins. And right now, helicopter all-ins are all the rage just because of how mobile they are. And on this map specifically, being such a giant map, helicopters do very well. Especially considering how split up forces get. And BTR is going to finish off this group. And now we're going to play a little bit of a waiting game. We're hitting into the mid game where both players are sort of planning what they'll be doing for the rest of the game. Looks like for Komradefruit, he's going to move these Zollos in to resupply them. He doesn't want to buy supply trucks because they're quite expensive. And he could use those points for other things. It's going to be about, what, 20 points per colo? Yeah, 25. So realistically, he saved himself probably about 50 supply there. That's a quarter of a command rammer, and he's on the way to coming back. All the while, looks like we're gonna see from Kyps, he's gonna use these VPs he used to spot units, and just these transport helicopters to pick off a few units. He actually has a lot of UAZs here. He's gonna split them up to recon various positions. And yeah, he's just slowly picking apart his opponent's armor, realizing that his opponent cannot really reinforce a large number. And speaking of cannot reinforce a large number, it looks like we're going to see another deployment of these Zollos, this group of BMP infantry fighting vehicles. And he may try and retake middle. All the while, these BTR-65s are making the unfortunately bad decision of moving across the map. They might have enough fuel to get to a different jungle, but not too far. And kind of interested to see what people are doing. We see from Kyps, he's going for what would have been an older, smarter play. Artillery, and basically you just melt away your opponent slowly. He still has these smirches. He's just not using them. He doesn't want to burn through his supply too fast. But at this point in the game, like, he's got tons of FOB supply. He's probably fine for burning through it. And his strategy looks like it's going to be whittling away his enemy slowly. Whoa, one colo was stolen. That's actually a pretty big deal, because the colo is also fire. And he's going to take another Bukmi out. And he's going to use the colo himself to resupply his empty vehicles and make a retreat. Oh god, that was like the worst thing that could happen for Comrade Kyps, because he desperately needs units and supplies. And he actually recaptures it successfully. And now he's creating a position where he's going to move forward. He didn't lose too much supply there, so not a big deal, but yeah, it looks like he's going to try and do a big stomp attack on Bravo. That should be interesting. We see a fire of Smirch has hit the map, actually mutilating this position here, so he did get some points out of that. And here comes another big black, actually not another, this is the big back flank. And in fact, he's going to move the command armor, because he's not messing around anymore. He realizes what exactly it is that Kyps is doing. The recon unit here doesn't really put up enough power to really stop it. There are lots of anti-tank and anti-aircraft teams here. He could deploy on top of these and get some decent points, but he's going to continue pushing forward, wanting to get this command armor, which of course is being moved into Gulf. Now, if he were to move his Moto Strelicky south, he can actually do something about this, but it looks like for now, the only thing that Kyps can do with his attack is actually wipe out this position, and that's exactly the decision he's making. He has turned around, he's going in for killing a lot of these anti-aircraft vehicles, and going for these infantry vehicles. There is a big, very powerful infantry vehicle over here that he has to get. He's actually bringing the Ural with him, and he's stolen the FOB. That's very key. This means that a lot of these northern vehicles for Komradefruit will not be reinforceable, and he's got so many infantry here. He can take position in these storage facilities for Canadian barrels. I don't know if you've heard of these. He can actually maintain the FOB and just peel away at it. All the while, he's going to continue pushing forward. If he can get this drop too, that'd be huge. And actually, we see that Komradefruit is actually going to try and take the 5-point middle again. Very, very risky. And actually, here comes a big attack by Komradefruit. That could be the game ender, because these are all his big, powerful units. There are some Moto Strelicky here, some BTR-65s, but it doesn't look like there's really enough for this. There is a Smirch that could make some mayhem, but it's not really winding up right now. The first BTR Zollos are panicked and confused. There is no anti-tank weapons here that make any stop to this, and he's kiting away from these infantry. So now he needs to deploy some very quick units. Here they come, the transport helicopter. Why does everybody get transport helicopters? What the hell is wrong with people? They're specifically getting helicopters and the all-in. The commander is going to pull back very wisely. Here comes the infantry fighting vehicles behind the Zalos. The Zalos, of course, noted for being very armored. He's going to pick off some more anti-aircraft vehicles. And here comes the transport helicopters. I can't believe this is a thing now. I've seen this in like 3 games so far where people just peel off like a bunch of transport helicopters. That is so weird. And there's actually a spoon here, so he can't get too close to these helicopters. However, he has, look at this giant spread out flank of helicopters, able to peel back all the units of Komradefruit. In fact, he's getting a pretty big points lead from this, and it appears that Komradefruit is going to throw in the towel and give this game to Kyps. So congratulations to Kyps. Komradefruit, it's been fun, but so long, and thanks for all the fish.
And thanks for all the fish, so sad that it should come to this. We tried to warn you all, but oh dear, you may not share our intellect, which might explain your disrespect for all the natural wonders that grow around.